A local resident of the area, Ashraf Ali. Ashraf Ali, there's been lots of complaints and a concern for issues regarding antisocial behaviour and other incidents taking place in this Darnall area. How much are you worried, particularly around incidents taking place in this area?
Well, first of all, this has not been a new issue. It's been going on for quite some time, and the whole community is actually very upset and very distressed about all the problems going on with burglary, theft, houses breaking into, and we're just thinking what's going to happen. Is it going to get better or is it going to get worse? We're thinking what's the future going to be? Is it going to be positive or negative?
What's your message for the people in power who are watching and listening to this program?
I would say the main leaders, the community activists, or say the councillors and other people in the higher authority, we basically need good policing, or maybe neighbourhood watching, or we need maybe more CCTV cameras on this road, and we need basically more patrolling as well. So this will help a lot, because at the moment you don't see a police car going down the road at all. So policing and neighbourhood watch would make a big difference.
How vigilant are you and your family for your personal safety?
Well, at the moment myself, I've just installed a CCTV outside my house. Before I didn't have gates, so now I put gates in my yard passageway as well to block it. And I've even told my family to always be more wary about these issues that's going on, and lock the doors and be very careful who knocks on the door.
Thank you very much. Ashraf Ali, one of the local residents who is sharing his concern over some of the incidents taking place in the area of Darnall in Sheffield 9. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Continuing
much.
on the response from the local community in the Darnall area of Sheffield 9, South Yorkshire, an area which has a very diverse community, a well-established community from different parts of the world. One of the major concerns for this area has been from the local residents that the crime and the antisocial behaviour is increasing with the recent armed robbery and also a murder which happened a few months ago just up the road. I'm joined with a local resident and a very active person who is the chair for Darnall Forum. Moti Rahman, first of all, thank you for joining us. First of all, maybe you'd like to give the brief history of the area and yourself.
Assalamu alaikum. Brief story about the area. I grew up in this area and I've been living in this area for last 43 years, since I was 3 years old. The recent change what I have seen, about a long time ago back, we used to hardly hear about the theft and robbery and everything. Then a few years back, they started breaking into the houses, taking people gold and everything. And recently, most recently, what's been happening in the Darnall, which is one of the worst I ever faced. Like all you know, there was a murder been happening about last year. And most recently, somebody just went mugged in with the guns and took everything from the shop. So the change, what I'm saying, is getting worse and worse.
Has the chairperson, as the responsible community activist, voice of the community, the chair of Darnall Forum, an organisation?
I am working with the police at the moment, and I am trying to organise a meeting, which is previously I did organise one meeting with the councillor, MP and the police, South Yorkshire police. We had one complete attendance by the local people. So I'm going to do it one other one, for the safety of our people who go run shop in this area.
Do you feel such meetings will have a positive effect on the safety of the local community?
I can't guarantee 100% that, because duty of the shortest of the police officer at the moment. But I could guarantee that, once we have a meeting with the police and Sheffield City Councillor, at least we could get something back from them. And the most important things for the community, they have to work with the police, and that is very important for our community as well.
This is Moti Rahman, who is the chair for Darnall Forum, an organisation which works closely with the community, talking about and speaking about some of the issues in the Darnall area of Sheffield. Report regarding some of the issues which have been highlighted regarding the concerns in this area of Sheffield, Darnall, Sheffield 9 area. As you know, this is a very diverse and a close-knit community area. Joined with the South Yorkshire Police Inspector, who works closely in partnership with the community, is Chris Lewis. Thank you for joining us, Chris. There has been some issues around concern of safety, personal safety of the community, regards to recent events taking place in this area. How would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for inviting me firstly. Obviously I'm very aware of the two incidents you referred to, in particular the murder that took place on New Year's Eve and also the recent armed robbery. The first thing I would like to say to make sure I reassure the public is they are very much one-off incidents that could have occurred anywhere within the city. It's something that we've worked very hard on. I believe the trial for the murder starts very shortly, and the robbery is something that's under investigation. So the first thing I would like to say is please be reassured these are not commonplace and they are not something that's been repeated. They are one-off incidents that have taken place very recently.
We're in the hub of the community where the children, the adults and the women and the family come out shopping, schooling, local mosque here, and also other community centres including other interfaith organisations. But the recent event which took place last week in regards to the armed robbery, people are more fearful, saying that there's more weapons being carried about, such as guns and knives. How do you want to reassure the community and reinstate the confidence of the community?
Again, it's understandable that people within the community have those fears. As I would like to reiterate, the armed robbery was a one-off at this moment in time. It's a one-off situation. It's not been repeated. There are still some conflicting reports about what took place, and we're still investigating that to establish exactly what did take place. What I would say to people is, please don't be fearful, continue your daily business. However, if you witness something whereby you believe a group of people or an individual may have a weapon, please make sure you do report it to us.
You highlighting and identifying hotspots where the community feel more vulnerable, or where they feel there could be an increase of crime, or lots of people from outside the areas gathering or trying to obviously go off whatever they're doing.
Yeah, there are a number of different ways. Every day I review, myself or my deputy reviews all the incidents that are reported to us. So I'm aware very much on a daily basis incidents of antisocial behaviour or issues that are reported into the police. That's the key. People need to report things to the police. I accept and understand that they don't want to bother us, but without knowing that there is a particular issue, it's very difficult to address that. So I'd please encourage people, if they do have a problem and they feel there are issues that need to be reported to us, please pick up the phone or use the computer and report it directly to us.
My understanding from the stats and the figures, from last February up to now, there's been at least around 400 to 500 incidents which have been logged, and I'm sure there's many which have not been logged because of the community don't feel the confidence or they are fearful of repercussions. What's the message for the community?
All incidents that are reported will be logged, and it's something we look at and address. As you can understand and appreciate, in this day and age we have to focus on what is any significant threat, harm or risk to us. Certain calls may not invoke a response at this moment in time, but please be reassured we are aware of it and we will monitor the situation and address it should the need arise.
Reviewing your strategies, your outreach work within the community with Ramadan on the horizon, because this area is predominantly a Muslim community area, obviously with wider interfaith, and also the summer which is here, and families and communities being out and about, weddings, etc.
Yeah, I mean, as in many other communities in Sheffield, and particularly communities I police, we are very mindful and aware of seasonal difficulties that come along. Obviously in the dark nights we have bonfire nights. Now obviously we've got Ramadan approaching, followed by Eid, and it's something that we work very closely with the communities. You know, I want to understand what the community wants from South Yorkshire Police and see if we can address that, work together to ensure that there is a peaceful, enjoyable festive season where, you know, people can enjoy what there is.
Will we see more communications and the gaps sort of being eliminated between the youth and the young people on the South Yorkshire Police here in this area?
Again, it's something we're working very hard on. As in most places, the youth may not want to associate or work with the police. We work very closely with a number of the communities in Darnall, particularly the Empire Gym. We work with the DEC, with Starworks, which we try and work with them to get them to understand what policing is about, but equally we need to understand what they want and what they need, and to give them a voice within the community.
This were the comments and the views of South Yorkshire's Police Inspector Chris Lewis, who works with the local community in this particular area, which is Darnall, Sheffield 9 area. Looking at the issues in the Darnall area of Sheffield 9, and as we speak to various members of the community from the business background, sporting and also community figures, this instant moment we joined with Sid Sadiq, who is a local resident, and also he runs a gymnasium, and our understanding is that he tries to use this resource as a preventive measure of reducing crime and antisocial behaviour. Why did you feel it was important to engage in such an incentive?
I felt it was very important because obviously the new generations now, obviously, who are growing up, they obviously need some guidance now and help, which it's not available for them no more as it was. If it is, it's not exposed to us and they don't know about it. It's more important, however, now because of recent serious crimes we've had in the area, and it's only going to get worse. So we feel we're like the first contact with the kids on the streets, which we are. We run a gym, Sid's gym, but now we've also opened a new side called SS Fight Club with Stuart Bedham and myself. Stuart's not from around here, but obviously he's dedicated his time and helping me to get the kids back on the track, and which is working now. And it's very important now, the rest of the agencies, i.e. police, the council and anybody else involved, they must take this very seriously and they need to come on board together.
Sid, the recent number of incidents which have taken place in Darnall, the murder, the armed robbery, what sort of message does that give out to the community, and what sort of feedback have you had as a resident and also a resource which is trying to engage with the local community and the youth?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's been quite a shocking incident, what's happened in the last few months. The thing is now, what's coming back to us is people are very scared now. The locals and residents are very scared, thinking about moving out. The biggest thing we've got now is businesses not wanting to invest here. They're saying it's not viable for them to invest here and they want to move out. Yeah, the local businesses are now beginning to suffer. The trade is not coming in from the outside areas because it's getting a bad name, Darnall. And Darnall is not bad as it's being made out now by the media and everything. I'm going to go on and say again, the agencies, i.e. the police, the council and everything, they are not doing as well as everybody thinks they are doing and what they proclaim them to do. They are not. Right? They need to work together and need to work. I mean, Mazhar Iqbal, obviously the local councillor, he is. If anything, he has supported us and he is trying his best.
Now, you've mentioned about the agencies, about the councils, there's nobody to defend. But I did speak to South Yorkshire Police Inspector Chris Lewis, who is working in partnership. He has mentioned he'll do his best, and he's also given a few names of local organisations. But I'm sure once your views are shared, and there will be some sort of contact or engagement. Darnall area, Atticus area, has a very cultural significance for the communities here, especially with the first generation coming and residing and working here, and there's lots of people who do not want to leave this area.
No, they don't, because they were born here and they live here. Myself, I don't want to leave, but it's getting to
the heritage and the tradition.
Yeah, but it's getting to a situation now where it's getting really bad. And I don't know who police has been communicating, who they've been talking to or helping, but I've never come in contact with them. They never came to me, approached me to help them or help the youth.
As a parent, as a family man, how fearful are you for your family in terms of engaging their daily affairs?
Well, I've got 4 children now, and it's really it's troubling now. It's really concerning me because they're getting 17, 16, and now they're getting obviously on the street. And it's getting worse now, and especially summertime. Now it's not going to end here. We're going to see some more incidents. That's why we're doing this project here, to help as many as we can. But we're just not being taken seriously at the moment.
Stuart Berra. I with Sid in SS Fight Club in Darnall to help the community, to bring all the youth together off the street, try and help them give a positive outlook in life.
Speaking of positive clubs, can be a therapy which will reduce crime?
Really, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. We're the first port of call on the street for
but
kids.
Don't you feel it make them more violent, more aggressive?
No, not at all, not at all. I think what we find these days as the youth, as they're growing up, they're watching video games, blah blah, and they go out on the street committing crime, whatever. They've got a lot of aggression, yeah. And to bring them into a gym and get that aggression out of them, right, and just teach them great morals, right. It's a misconception that if you take a child or youth of today off the street, teaching them how to fight basically, right, is going to make them aggressive. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Thank you so much, Stuart and Sid Sadiq, for your contribution on the local community news.
Thank you. আমার নাম মতিউর রহমান শাহিন, আমি এই ডানাল বাসিন্দার। আমি এইখানে আজ 43 বছর ধরে আসি। আমি শুধু একটা মেসেজ দিব আমাদের সমস্ত ভিউয়ার এবং আমাদের যে কমিউনিটি মানুষের আছে। বর্তমানে আমাদের সামনে রমজান চলে আসতেছে এবং স্কুল হলিডে চলে আসতেছে, তারপরে অনেক শাদি বিয়া সব কিছু হবে। আমি শুধু এটাই আমার কমিউনিটির কাছে অনুরোধ করব যে আমরা যেন নিজেকে সতর্ক করে রাখি এবং সবাই যেন একত্র হয়ে আমাদের যে কোনো ধরনের ইস্যু আসে এইটারে আমরা কিভাবে সমাধান করব অথবা আমরা কিভাবে পুলিশের সাথে এগিয়ে কাজ করতে পারি সেটা আমাদের জন্য দেখা খুব জরুরি। থ্যাংক ইউ, ধন্যবাদ।
আমার নাম শাহিনুর জাহাঙ্গীর। আমরা রিসেন্টলি আমরা ডার্নাল যে কয়েকটা ইনসিডেন্ট হয়েছে, যেটা হইল কি একটা মার্ডার হয়েছে, প্লাস আমরা এখানে কয়েকটা বার্গলারিজ হয়েছে। এরপরে আপনার রিসেন্টলি লাস্ট উইক আমরা প্রেমিসেস আইয়া দুজনে বন্দুক দিয়ে আমরা কিছু পয়সা নিছেন, রাইট। সো আমরা লাকিলি আমরা তারা ধরে লিছি, হাতে নাতে ধরায়। তখন পুলিশে অ্যাকশন নেয়, পুলিশে অ্যারেস্ট করছে। আর পুলিশের রেসপন্স ওয়াজ ভেরি গুড, তো ভেরি কুইক পুলিশ রেসপন্স, এটা আর্মড রেসপন্স, এটা খুব ভালো পাইছি আমরা। আর কমিউনিটির আমরা যে ডার্নাল ফোরাম আসেন বা আমরা যে লোকাল যে আরও কমিউনিটি গ্রুপ আসেন, প্লাস আমরা লোকাল মানুষের কাছ থেকে, মসজিদের কাছ থেকে, সবার কাছ থেকে ভালো একটা সাপোর্ট পাইছি। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ সকলকে।
আমি এই দেশে 40 বছর থাকিয়া যে দেখছিলাম এই পরিবর্তন এখন নাই। এখন আমি দেখি আর যেন টাকা খাওয়া অন্য এক ধরনের, এই ধরনের ঠিক নাই। তো ওখানেও
আমি লন্ডন আইছি তো শেফিল্ডে 1968 খুব ভালো রয়েছি। আতিক্লিফ ডার্নাল ওই দুই জায়গায়ও আমি বসবাস করলাম। এখন আগে খুব ভালো আছিল, এখন তো খুব ক্রাইম বেশি। দিনের আইতে বন্দুক দিয়া মানুষে ফায়ার করতো। এরপরে আরও নানান জাতর ড্রগি এই সেই আছে গিয়া মানে আগর মতো নাই গিয়া। আগে খুব ভালো আছিল, এখন তো মানে খুব সবসময় ডর করে রাস্তাঘাটে চলাফেরা রাত্রে। আগে রাত্রে খুব 1টা-2টা পর্যন্ত আমরা চলাফেরা করছি, কোনো প্রবলেম নাই। এখন তো মানে রাত 9টা চলতেও ডর করে। আর তো ঠিক আছে, হলতা অন্যদিকে তো বেশি সুবিধা নাই। আর তো আমরা এরিয়ার তো আমরা খালেও বেশি এশিয়ান, বাঙালি, পাকিস্তানি সব আমরা বসবাস করলাম। হলেও ঠিক আছে, অনলি ক্রাইম বেশি এই সমস্ত। আর কি আর তো
As you've been listening to views and opinions about the Darnall Sheffield 9 area and its concerns around the increase of crime and antisocial behaviour, as you have heard that some of the crimes which have been mentioned by local community members include a murder recent in the area and also a daylight robbery at a local business which is owned by Shaino Rahman Jangir, a travel agent and a money transfer shop. Shaino Rahman Jangir, armed robbery, it sounds so horrible, so terrible. How do you describe the ordeal? How would you share your experience of that day?
To think of it, it's shocking. It's horrible. You know, nobody wants it ever to experience that sort of experience. But the thing is, when it's there, when it's happening, you don't really feel it. You don't understand. You know, it's a shock. It takes a few minutes for it to sink in. Now, what happened with us is 2 guys walked in with shotguns, with hand rifles, and they came in and they demanded money, which we had some money in the till, which we handed over. So basically, they tried going into our safe, but we've got delayed safe, so which they couldn't get into. Then they ran off. But fortunate for me, I chased them down road because I wanted to take their picture and see if I could get their getaway car, but they weren't on car, but they fled on foot for quite a long distance, and I chased them and I managed to phone police and catch them.
Very brave of you. When somebody walks in with weapons such as guns and they point it directly at yourself, what was coming in your mind at that moment? Were you thinking about your life, or was it more about your business, about the money?
It wasn't fear, because that it's suddenly, if something happens, you don't fear it, you don't understand what's happening. So I wasn't scared or anything. The initial thought was to first, if I didn't give them the money, then maybe they would have used the weapons. So I gave them the money, but afterwards, when they couldn't get into the safe, then they ran for it, and they I chased them, but maybe they didn't look back because they were in a panic as well to get away, and I chased them and I managed to call the police at the same time and catch them basically.
You're a established businessman within the area. Any sort of incidents of this nature previously been experienced?
I've been in business, next year it'll be 20th year, and we've never had this sort of problem before.
Have you always had preventive measures, being prepared if some sort of robbery or incident does take place, how to confront?
You could never really prepare for this sort of thing, because it's not something that happens regularly. So no, we've got preventative measures. For example, we have insurance, we have security doors, we have recording 24 hours recording cameras around the premises.
Can you remember the exact words or any words which they said to you when they walked in?
They said, "Give us your money or else we'll shoot you and kill you," basically, yes.
As you confronted and chased them, what was the consensus of the community, the atmosphere outside? Did you get any support from the local community?
I've had a lot of support, not from only local but nationally and internationally. People that know me, everybody has supported me.
What is your message? Obviously we can't speak of the case, it's pending, it's under investigation, for the local community and also for other business people in this area. Should they be fearful for their safety, or do you feel this was one-off incident?
I think when something like this happens, yes, you should be fearful, you should be careful, you shouldn't take any sudden actions where your life can be your lives can be jeopardized and your security. So yes, you should be careful, but at the same time you shouldn't overfear anyone. Then it brings more trouble for yourselves, like this incident where we took it calmly, we took it in our stride, although they will panic and they will try to get as much out of you. What they tried first week we gave them what we had in the cash, but they tried going into our safe, but our safe is time delayed, so they couldn't really get into our safe. And also we've got a lot of preventative measures. For example, we've got security 24 hours live security cameras, which is linked up with phones and police, and we also have the insurance and things in place.
The support you received from the police, how quick were they to respond to your call?
They were very quick, because as soon as I said, I'm approaching them, they told me not to approach them directly because they may still have the weapons on them. And by this time they took the balaclavas off because they didn't really expect me to chase after them. And so I kept my distance because in case they had the weapons on them still. But I managed to call the police, and police came within maybe 5-6 minutes.
How is the family at the moment and yourself? Are you back to normal business, or have you got double minds about alternatives? Are you going to resume trading?
No, we won't resume trading. We will continue to trade because this is my next year. It will be my 20th year of trading, and we've had a lot of community support and everybody supporting us locally, nationally, and even internationally. Those people who know us.